All right. Welcome to the Modern Mompreneur Podcast. I am your host, Day Smith, and I'm so excited to be here today because for the first time, we have a very special guest from across the world, literally. We have Rebecca K and Co. She is a productivity expert for professionals. Her and I met because obviously we speak the same productivity love language. And I really admired everything she was doing in business. She was so on top of what we need as professional women entrepreneurs to be more efficient and to really be able to create order in our lives. And to top it off, she's also a mom. And so she is managing her career, her children, and raising a business, raising her children and building a business, which is deserves all the praise. She and I are living similar lifestyles. And so I'm so happy to have her on the show today. I'm going to let Rebecca say hello to everyone and introduce herself a little bit more.
Thank you so much, Day. I am so honored to be on your podcast, and we've been connected for a few years now. So it just feels like I'm talking to a long lost friend. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Yes. I'm so glad we were finally able to connect. It has been a couple years, you know. I don't even remember how I found you. I feel like we may have met on Quench Collective, perhaps, with Grace Blacksea.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
it was.
yes. Yes, she is actually going to be on the podcast later on. So this will be a nice little reunion of the three of us on the Mompreneur podcast. So let's get into it. Let's talk about, you know, what do you do, who you are, and how do you serve other professional women and mompreneurs.
Thank you so much, Day, once again for having me on your show. So, I support Black women who are looking to become leaders in their careers, and productivity is, one of the things I talk about because the time who's got the time, is one of the biggest struggles. And there's no shame in saying that as a woman because we
Mhm.
wear so many hats, especially as moms. And I help these women become leaders in their careers, in their lives, and really just have a fulfilling um, life that makes them feel that they're able to do both, that they're able to
Mhm.
be great moms, able to be great in their careers, and able to be leaders overall.
Yes. You know, we often try to segment or compartmentalize things. Let me just focus on being a mom. This is my role. This is what I want to do. But sometimes we do that a disservice to ourselves because there may be things that we want as an individual woman like to advance our career. And there's a lot of misappropriated guilt that comes with it, mom guilt, right? That you're like, oh, should I be doing more here? Should I be doing more there? And so it's nice that you're coaching women, specifically Black women, on how to overcome that because that is such a needed thing. And we do have the capacity to do it all. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
how you do it, what support you bring in, because you need support to be able to get it done. So that support comes through your services and how you give that to other women. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And even to add to what you're saying, should we be doing it all? Because I think a lot of times there's so many societal expectations that are put on us as women and as moms, and worse off as Black women in careers. And so I think it's important that we're having these conversations because being a super mom doesn't mean doing all the things yourself, right? And
Hmm.
asking for help, finding support systems does not make you less of, what you want to be great at.
Yes. I often listen to this I guess minister, female minister with Proverbs 31 ministry, and she talks about how, do it, saying yes to everything and doing all of the things is not going to make you a superwoman. It's going to make you a worn out woman at the end of the day because you're trying to do too much, and that's a lot of times the reality. We talk about burnout and just trying to give so much or pouring from an empty cup. And so being honest with yourself, like you said, that should you be doing everything and kind of prioritizing what you should and shouldn't do and saying no is a really big lesson that we have to learn, especially as moms and women. So it's good that you're shedding light on that and really just talking about it. with other women. So good. I don't know if you told people where you are, like in the world and where you're located, because I think most of my audience is in the US, but where are you, Miss Rebecca?
Yes, I'm in beautiful sunny Kenya, Nairobi, which is
Yes.
in East Africa. So I am probably 7 hours ahead of most of your listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, being an online business owner makes you be able to connect with other women on a global level. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much we can learn from one another through the lens of our experiences. And yeah, as you mentioned, I did not introduce myself as a twin mom, but I am a twin mom. And I also work at the largest global audit firm as a director over there.
Wow. Director, mom of twins, running a business. Okay. I mean, like all the things. How in the world do you do it? So let's talk about managing as a mompreneur. What adjustments have you had to make in life to accommodate this lifestyle? Like what things have you found yourself needing to do that you didn't have to do before?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. So I've had to say no a lot more than I used to. And I've had to have ruthless prioritization in
Mm,
all aspects of my life. And sometimes that means saying no even to people who are close to you, right?
mm,
And doing it graciously, right? With a loving heart. But sometimes that is what it's going to call for. And so I've had to learn how to do this. And for a lot of us as moms, because we tend to put everyone else first before us, this is not the easiest thing to do. But trust me, it is so liberating. And you'll
mm.
just feel so much better when you learn to say no, and not just always think about people pleasing everyone but you. So that's
Yeah.
probably one of the things I've learned to do very
Okay.
much. And secondly, is then to lean on my support system. And so support system is way more than just, applications to help you run your business. Support system comes in the form of investing in other people who can support you, whether it is in your home, whether it is in nurturing family relationships, and not just so that they can do things for you, right? It's a mutually beneficial
Hmm.
relationship, but being able to see that ecosystem can really help you thrive, and also leveraging on that in the workplace as well, and not trying to do everything, because
Mm.
actually leadership is about working through other people. It's not about how much you can do, it's about how much you can get other people to do and inspire other people to do things that are aligned to your vision.
I love that. I love that. The aspect of leaning on your community is so important, and leaning on your village and finding people that can help you, not being afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of times because the women who pursue the lifestyle of an entrepreneur are obviously ambitious and driven, and we sometimes feel like we have to have control over everything. I may be just talking about myself, but and so
You're
it's hard.
speaking for the crowd, trust
That's
me.
right. Okay. And it feels like you can't, if you can do it, you're gonna do it, but you're spreading yourself so thin. And what I talk about a lot is normalizing asking for help. Like you said, in the home, like whether that's a chef or housekeeping, someone to do the laundry, babysitters for your children, planning your date nights, whatever you need, or systems, using the systems like we do, asking family members to come help. And you really touched on a good point, because if you're the only one doing everything for the house, you're not leaning on your spouse, you're not leaning on your in-laws, perhaps babysitters, then you could be taking an opportunity for them to be able to be closer to them. So that is something that you have to consider too.
Absolutely. And something that I just thought of as you were mentioning is, I think a lot of us struggle with what I call receiving blocks. So we have receiving blocks in the sense that we struggle with receiving help, and try and test it, right? The next time someone says, "Can I help you with this?" in the supermarket, or someone wants, your husband or your partner wants to open the door, and
Mhm.
you're like, "No, no, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay." Right? And how many times does that spill over into other areas where we could easily get help, but we just have these blocks because of these societal expectations, because we think we should be doing them all the things. And I think that's also another mindset aspect that we need to talk about and deal with in order for us to receive and receive with abundance all the help that is around us, that is
Yeah.
already available to us.
Yeah, yeah. I like the receiving blocks. Like, just try it out. Let someone, start small. You don't have to say, "Come to my house and help me take care of my kids," but like start small. Like people, if they see you're busy, I'll have a lot of people will say, "Well, what can I do to support you?" And I'll even say to people when I'm seeing them, going through things, tell them what you need help with. Um, like the saying, "Closed mouths don't get fed." Well, if you don't ask, you won't receive, and that person again could be really wanting to pour into you and help you, and it's not a burden on them at all. So that's a good practice to have. um so let's take it a step back and talk about, how did you, because you are a director of the largest global firm, right, in Kenya, and you are managing a life with two twins. How old are your twins?
Yeah, my twins are 3.5. They're
Three and a
COVID babies. Yeah,
Oh my goodness, three and a half. Oh, you are in the thick of it. My goodness.
I'm telling you.
You are in the thick of it, girl. Okay. Well, how did you decide to take on this additional role as a mompreneur? Like, what was that process like for you?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. So, for me, and I think it was also with the birth of my twins, just came this realization that I am meant for more. And, I would look at them and, think fast forward 20 years from now, them asking me, well, Mom, what did you do to get more wealth in the hands of Black women? What did you do to get more representation of Black women in leadership? And, I would sit and think about these things. And I thought to myself, well, I need to get up and do something about it. It's not just enough for me to have all this success in my career and not do anything about it. I need to take responsibility and play my part in getting more women representation in leadership, in getting more women to have more wealth in their hands. And we need to be able to manage our time. We need to be able to lean on these support systems in order to do that. And so I started off with supporting business owners in building their online businesses. I had experience in an online business that I closed down right before I had my twins, and then I ventured into systems, and it also took time for me to figure out where my actual purpose and calling was,
Mm,
right? It wasn't just a overnight breakthrough and I knew exactly what it is that I was meant to do. I had to go through that process. And eventually I settled down on leadership, but leadership done differently from the
mm,
perspective of mindset, from the perspective of being the leader of all areas of your life, from the perspective of how to get things done, how to work through others, how to build your own, systems around how you manage your time, how you manage yourself, how you manage your workflows. And so I'm really glad that I went down that path. And now I can say that, yeah, indeed, I have impacted, 23 women. I have a win wall right next to my desk here, 23 women and counting who have
mhm.
gone through my coaching methods. And I can say, yes, I have been part of the change that I want to see.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you said that the first thing you said, you was meant for more, because that really resonated with me, and I'm sure it resonated with a lot of listeners, because you are successful in your career. You are successful as a mom. But what more do you want for yourself? And for you, that was really creating a legacy for your kids to say, this is what I've done. And it's impacting more than just us in our household and my immediate family. You're wanting to impact more women of color, Black women in leadership, and then, like you said, doing it differently, which I really like, because a lot of times we think about, you got to hustle and grind and go and do, but you talked about the mindset piece, which is really, I think that's where it all starts. That intuition, that reflection on your purpose and how you can navigate this. And being a woman, I think it's important navigate it differently because we traditionally men have been in leadership roles, for them in a lot of companies, the majority of leaders are men. And so the way they navigate things are different than the way women do. We have more empathy. We have more intuition. A lot of times we're managing the household. Not all the time. A lot of times we are. And so leadership will look different for us because there's certain things we're going to need and do differently. So being able to coach people through that, and you say you've done with dozens of women, is really impactful. And your contribution, your kids can say right now that you have definitely lived a life of purpose to do something greater than bigger than yourself. So that's great.
I
I
hope
love it.
so.
I love
That's
it.
the plan.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. Of course, of course. Um, so when clients come to you, or when you have these clients that you mentioned before, what are some of the pain points? What are some of the things that they're struggling with to say, I need to really work with somebody like Rebecca to help me with my leadership development?
That's a very good question. So yeah, sometimes they'll come and, share about the self-doubt that they're experiencing, maybe even microaggressions they're
Mm,
experiencing in their career, whether they're consultants or mainstream corporate career women. Sometimes they'll share about their overwhelmed struggles, how they're trying to do so much and nothing seems to be working. And so it's a myriad of issues, but like you said, it all starts with the mindset, right? Because no matter how many strategies I can give you, if we don't work on your mindset first, they are not going to be effective.
mm. Yes, I am definitely a fan of that and have been working on that myself because I think that you can achieve so much, but then if you don't have self awareness or you're not feeling joy about what you're doing, it's for nothing. It's for naught. So that mindset piece really does center you to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is why. Um, so I love that. I love that. So are you working with clients internationally or mainly in continent or in Kenya?
Yeah, that's why I love online businesses because you can reach an international audience
Mm-hmm.
from the comfort of your bedroom. I'm actually doing this podcast in my room. I just have a different backdrop. And so yeah, I've worked with women in New Zealand, I've worked with women in the UK, I've
Wow.
worked with women in the US. A lot of my clients naturally are from the continent of Africa, but it's not limited
Nice.
to yeah.
That is beautiful. I have a colleague, mentor of mine that's in Nairobi right now at a speaking event. So she is
That's
there and living her best
amazing.
life, and I'm living vicariously through her. And I've actually met a few people from Kenya as well. But that is the beauty of having an online business. And you talk about how you kind of have to figure out what it is that you wanted to do. And that's important to take a step back and say, okay, I want to do. And this online world is where it's at because you are able to work from the comfort of your home. I have a goal one day to just live remotely and work wherever we want to live, and not be bound to coming and checking in the job at a specific place. But the beauty thing. So anyone listening, no matter where you are, Rebecca is available to you. She is up at 4. It's 4 p.m., 5 p.m. her time. It's early in the morning my time when we're recording, but we're making it work because that's what we do as mompreneurs. So I love it. Um, so we're gonna transition into my favorite part of the podcast, and that's the lightning round. I'm gonna ask you questions and you're gonna just spit off the first thing that comes to your mind. You don't have explain it on one. You can just say the word and let it be within your soul. Okay.
Okay,
So
I'll do my
you
best.
ready? You ready?
Ready.
All right. The first question is, what are 3 words to describe you today?
Wow. Determined, disciplined, fun. I would
Fun.
like to
I
hope
love.
that I'm a fun person.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. You spoke it into existence. Wonderful. What would you tell your 18-year-old self today?
Don't play small.
Mm,
Don't play small. The people that you think are so much better than you are just more confident. It means nothing. Never play small and never trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for you. Create your own mold.
mm, love that. What does it mean to you to be a modern mompreneur?
One who believes that they can be a great mom and do all the things. One who believes that being a mom and having a successful career and having an amazing growing business are not mutually exclusive.
I love that. What do you love about being a mom?
Learning from my children. Every day I'm learning something new from them. And yeah, just seeing them blossom into the people that they're becoming. It's just
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes, you see it early. Um, what are you reading, watching, or listening to?
I'm reading The Power of One More. I am watching Wimbledon. I'm an avid tennis fan, so Wimbledon is
Okay.
ongoing right now.
Yes.
And I am listening to, let me see which podcast I'm listening to at the moment. Okay, I'm listening to one of my coach's podcasts. It's called Be the CEO. And the podcast episode is titled The Power of Prosperity.
Oh, who is your coach? I'm just curious. Be the CEO. Whose podcast is that?
She's called Julie Siadi.
Julie Ciotti. Okay. Got it. All right. Good. And then last question. What is bringing you joy in your downtime?
I love my sleep. So I know it's such a boring answer, but that is what's bringing me joy, being able to just get in an extra hour of sleep, especially now that schools are closed.
Mm, listen, rest is important. Rest is productive. Okay.
Hmm. Amen to that.
Yes, don't ever feel bad about rest. I'm sure you work hard. You can rest. Good. Well, thank you for sharing the lightning round, giving us a little bit more inside your head and who you are as a woman and a mom and an entrepreneur. So let's share with people how they can connect with you.
Yes. So you can connect with me on Instagram at Rebecca K. Muriuki. So connect with me over there. I would be glad to talk to you all things systems, productivity, leadership. And I also have a very special gift. So just send me the word day Smith, and then I will know that you heard about me from her podcast because I have a very special gift for Day's podcast listeners.
Oh, well, thank you for gift blessing the Mod Mom Pod listeners with a gift. So I'll be sure to put your IG handle in the show notes and mention that if you follow and can engage with Rebecca and you put that you listen to her and you found out about it on the podcast, just put my name, Day Smith, and she'll connect with you and bless you with a beautiful surprise. So wonderful. Um, be sure to follow Rebecca and see all the things she's doing. She offers services, again, coaching for women in leadership, and women who want Black women specifically who want to be more proficient and efficient and productive through systems. And so that's something we all need and can definitely change and transform our lives because we can work smarter, not harder, and learn to be more present and productive. So definitely take advantage of what Rebecca's sharing. And if you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to subscribe to the Modern Mompreneur podcast. Absolutely go and follow Rebecca and share with your friends, your other mompreneurs around the world. My Kenyan folks definitely show up for Rebecca and make sure that you support her. But even if you're not on the continent, make sure that you're just sharing with anyone you think that could benefit from hearing all the gems she dropped in her story as well. Rebecca, anything you want to say to close us out?
I just want to say it's been an honor being in here with your listeners, and thank you so much for having me on the Modern Mompreneur podcast.
Thank you so much. Until next time, y'all take care and have a great one.